I want to share a story that I hope somebody else can maybe connect with. But it's a long story. Here goes. My best friend decided to move to Colorado, and after high school, he asked me if I wanted to move out there with him. And so he flew out here from Colorado to Washington. And we took off the next morning in a road trip on my car with my stuff loaded up to head to Colorado. We took off at 5 in the morning so we could beat traffic. We got about 21 hours into the drive, something like that. It was 3 in the morning, so I'd been driving for 21 hours off and on, pretty much straight. We didn't sleep, we didn't go to bed, we didn't get a hotel or anything. So anyways, it's almost exactly 3:33 in the morning. We're driving, and there was a funny joke I made, and we were both laughing. Both of us just busted up laughing. And it was a joyous moment that kind of broke up the boring night drive, because we hadn't seen another vehicle in another direction as far as we could see. And after the laughing stopped and the silence kind of fell upon us, and I was driving, I had my one passenger. There was a flash of light in front of my car, and I immediately thought, "Oh crap! I'm passing out. We're about to wreck this car." The light stretched out like a tunnel, and I recognized it as tunnel vision. Thought that this is exactly what passing out feels like. And then there was a flash of light, and I was no longer in my car anymore. I couldn't even, matter of fact, those thoughts had been wiped from my mind. Like, I couldn't even remember that I had just been driving in a car. I was in somewhere entirely different. So I tried moving, and I realized pretty quickly that I was not in any control. I could not move, but I could still see wherever these eyes of this body I was in were looking. Wherever they looked, I could see, and I could hear, but I couldn't move any of the body joints, not the eyes, nothing. And this person was also driving a car, but they were looking at a dash that I had never seen before. I didn't recognize anything. The person who's driving, I was in, pulled into a parking spot, got out, and the passenger walked all the way around the car to get in front of the driver, and that's when I recognized my passenger from my current car. It was the same person, same passenger in both cars. He walked in front of my body, and as he walked up to a trailer door, there was 3 steps up there. He pulled out the key to unlock the door, and he went inside. The body I was in looked down to see the steps to step up, to make, to put their placement of their foot on the step and not miss it. And I recognized my own shoes. So I was stuck in my own body, watching myself follow behind my passenger into a trailer. And he walks into the trailer, and at the back of the trailer there's a couch. For some unknown reason, he sits in front of the couch on the ground, and that's when I get this feeling like I'm not supposed to be there. Just a gut feeling, and all of a sudden I'm jerked backwards from my belly button feels like faster than 100 miles an hour. It feels like light speed, just backwards. And there's a flashlight, and all of a sudden I'm driving right down the road again in my normal car, like nothing happened. So I told my passenger all about it, the whole story in detail. And he said, no, nothing happened. You weren't swerving or nothing. You were driving straight down the road. Nothing happened here. And so we just figured I was delusional, or, had a daydream or night dream while I was still awake, driving, whatever. So 6 months later, his parents decided to not have us on their property anymore, and they buy a trailer and move it into a trailer park. They move us into it and start charging us rent for it. About a month or two after that, my engine blew up in my car, and my uncle offered me to take over his son's payments on his vehicle, which happened to be a 2000 Ford Mustang, which ended up being in the vision. We still never recognized any of these signs until one day I came driving into the parking lot, and he got out and walked in front of me and sat on the ground in front of the couch. And we'd lived in that trailer for a few months, and I'd driven that car for 30 days. He sat on the ground, and that's when I slapped him in the arm. I didn't know what to say. I just said, dude. And from that comment, he remembered everything that I had said earlier in the vision. He jumped up and starts freaking out on me. Oh my God, you're better than Miss Cleo, the real deal psychic. And to this day, he doesn't really like to talk about it. I mean, I'm sure he sees this video. It's been 20 years now. He may want to talk about it now. And if he posts in the comments, I'll pin his comment so you guys can actually get his side of things. But there's a little bit more of the story I can't share on YouTube, but that's the gist of it. The YouTube censored story. But anyways, it was 6 months from when I saw the vision from when it actually happened. And this is like one of, oh gosh, maybe half a dozen or more events that have happened in my life. I just know that I can't be the only one that this has happened to. But I've shared the story with probably, I don't know, a couple thousand people. And most people just look at me like I'm crazy, and I don't blame them. If somebody told me this story, I would absolutely think they were off their rockers crazy. But it happened to me, and I had a witness. So, I mean, like, I would think I was delusional and crazy, but I was able to tell somebody about it in detail before it happened. And we had very little control over the circumstances, and it still happened no matter what. Just let me know in the comments if any of this has ever happened, anything similar to you, because it brings up to question in my mind, like, what is determinism? Are we on a set path, and is there no way around it? Is time linear? People always talk about multiple worlds and multiple different realities and multiple different outcomes to your life. And I'm here to tell you that I'm pretty sure you have one life, one end goal, and no matter what you think is going to happen, your free will and thought and choice, you'll always end up exactly living the same life you were always planned out to be. And that, I don't think time is now. There's no way for me to see the future 6 months in advance before it happens and have it play out 6 months later. If we weren't in the now, the future's already happened, then that would be the present. Are we living in the past? It's just weird. How is anyone able to see the future before it happens if it didn't already happen? I don't get it. But I get why people don't see the future often. This has messed me up knowing what I know. You know, do we have free will? I don't honestly know anymore. Let me know what your thoughts on this in the comments.